All right, let's talk about something that's been sitting in my group chat for a week now. And honestly, it's driving me a little crazy. Kawhi Leonard might be heading back to Toronto again. And before you roll your eyes and say, why do I care about the Raptors? Stick with me for a second, because this actually matters for our Knicks, and I've got some thoughts I need to get off my chest. But first, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because we live and breathe Knicks basketball on this channel. Every single day of the offseason, no filler, no fluff. And if you agree with anything I say in the next 10 minutes, or if you think I'm completely off base, I want to know. Drop a comment below. I read every single one of them, and honestly, some of the best takes on this channel come from you guys, not me. And obviously, smash that like button before you go anywhere. It genuinely helps this channel more than you'd think. Okay, so here's where things stand. Toronto has reportedly worked out a deal to bring Kawhi Leonard back to Raptors, 7 years after he left them in free agency following that magical 2019 championship run. The framework, from what's being reported, involves the Clippers sending Kawhi north in exchange for a package built around Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 unprotected first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, and a couple of second-rounders. That is an enormous haul for a guy who just turned 35 years old. But here's the catch, and this is the part that I find genuinely fascinating. The trade is frozen. It's not happening yet. Why? Because there's an ongoing investigation into an alleged salary cap circumvention scheme tied to the Clippers and a company called Aspiration. And Toronto, smartly, is not about to walk into a trade and get hit with penalties for something they had absolutely nothing to do with. So the whole thing is essentially in a holding pattern until the league figures out what actually happened over on the Clippers side. Now here's what's wild to me. Despite all that uncertainty, despite the fact that this deal is legally frozen right now, Kawhi Leonard himself reportedly still believes he's going to be a Raptor by the time training camp opens. That's confidence. Or maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't know which one it is yet. And honestly, neither does he, because at the end of the day, what Kawhi believes doesn't move the needle here. The Clippers maintain they did nothing wrong. The Raptors are lined up and ready to pull the trigger the second they get the green light. But none of that matters until this investigation wraps up. So we wait. Let's talk about why Toronto is willing to give up this much for a guy in his mid-30s with one of the most notorious injury histories in recent NBA memory. Last season, Kawhi actually looked like vintage Kawhi. Career high scoring average at 27.9 points a game. Career best 50.5% shooting from the field. Averaging 32 minutes a night across 65 games. Plus 1.9 steals a game, his best offensive number since the San Antonio days. On paper, that's an all-NBA caliber season. That's not some washed-up veteran hanging on for one last payday. That's a guy who, when healthy, is still one of the best two-way players alive. And that word healthy is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, because here's the brutal reality. The season before that 65-game campaign, he played 37 games. Across his 6 years with the Clippers, he cracked 60 games just twice. In his one full go at it back in 2019-20, he still only managed 57. So Toronto isn't just betting on Kawhi's talent. They're betting that this 35-year-old body, with his specific track record, is somehow going to hold up better than it did in his prime. That's the gamble. That's the part that should honestly terrify Raptors fans a little bit. And frankly, it's the part that makes me shake my head a little, because I've seen this movie before with aging superstars and shiny new contracts. Now, let's bring this back to us, because I know that's why you're actually here. Here's what gets me fired up. Every single offseason, it feels like some other team in this conference is out here making a splash. Philadelphia goes and signs LeBron James and adds Jaylen Brown before this Kawhi domino even started falling. Toronto is out here mortgaging future draft picks for a 35-year-old superstar. Meanwhile, our Knicks, the actual defending champions, sit back, run it back with the starting five that got us the title, and everybody acts like we're the boring pick. And I'll be honest with you, that frustrates me. It genuinely does. Where's the appreciation for what this roster already accomplished? Why does continuity get treated like a weakness instead of the biggest strength in the entire Eastern Conference? But then I stop and actually think about it for a second, And here's where my frustration turns into something closer to pride. We don't need a splashy trade. We don't need to hope some 35-year-old with a fragile injury history somehow stays on the floor for 70 games. We don't need to pray that a locker room full of brand new personalities figures out chemistry in real time while the games actually count. Philadelphia has to hope Jaylen Brown fits. Toronto has to hope Kawhi's knees cooperate for one more run. We already know what we have. Our starting five is intact. Our depth is intact. Our identity is intact. That's not boring. That's the biggest luxury in this entire conference. And I don't think enough people are giving us credit for it. So yeah, is it exciting to imagine Kawhi Leonard suiting up for Toronto again, turning the Raptors back into a legitimate threat in the Atlantic? Sure, from a basketball entertainment standpoint, absolutely. That's a fun storyline. But as a Knicks fan, I'm not losing a single minute of sleep over it. If this trade actually clears the investigation and goes through, we will believe it when we see Kawhi Leonard healthy and dominant for a full 82-game season, because history says that is not the way to bet. Until then, every other team in this conference can keep chasing shiny new pieces and hoping it all comes together. We already have our answer standing in that locker room right now. All right, that's my take, and I genuinely want to hear yours. Do you think this Kawhi trade actually gets finalized before training camp, or does this investigation drag out even longer? And more importantly, does it even move the needle for you as a Knicks fan? Let me know down in the comments. I promise I'm reading them, and I will probably respond to a bunch of you. If you made it this far, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does make a massive difference to this channel and helps more Knicks fans find these videos. And if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on notifications, because we've got a lot more off-season breakdowns coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.